Hey, happy holidays, everybody. My name's Frank. I go by Big Tasty Barbecue. Today I'm talking to you about my absolute favorite cut of beef, the ribeye steak. This is a cowboy ribeye. It weighs about 1.75 pounds. It is a certified Angus prime grade ribeye. Only about 5% of the beef in this country is certified as prime. It takes a certain amount of marbling to get that designation. And if you look at this, the marbling throughout this steak is just fantastic. You have your eye section here, and then this cap section, which is the absolute best portion of a ribeye. So when I'm selecting a ribeye, I'm looking for the biggest cap section I can get. I'm looking for marbling throughout, which this is just fantastic. This one weighs in at about 1.75 pounds or so. So I'm going to prepare this today. The weather's a little lousy outside. It's still raining, so I'm going to do a reverse sear on this cowboy ribeye. And basically what that means is I'm going to cook it super slow in the oven at about 250 degrees until I get an internal temp of about 115 to 118 degrees. Then I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to give it a sear in my cast iron skillet. It's going to be fantastic. Stay tuned. If you like this, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be all sorts of new videos coming up this year. Okay, so it's time to season this beautiful ribeye, and one of my favorite seasonings to use on steaks is this Magnum Seasoning from Reload Rub and Seasoning. It's a wonderful coarse texture, which I love on the beef. A lot of cracked black pepper, sea salt, garlic, onion, all sorts of delicious seasonings. And again, it's from Reload. It's Magnum blend, and it's fantastic. So if you have time, you want to season your meat, at least an hour ahead of time. Sometimes I do it overnight if I have the time and I'm planning ahead. I know some people season the meat directly. Some people put the seasoning on the board. I've done it both ways, folks, and quite honestly, I can't tell the difference. So do whichever makes you happy. But you want to make sure you get a nice solid coating of the seasoning all over. Make sure it adheres really well. And by all means, don't forget the sides. Beautiful. So we're going to let this sit. We're going to let this come to room temp before we start to cook it. Something this thick, this is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. This is going to sit out for about an hour and let it come up to room temp first. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the weather's not cooperating outside today, so we're going to do a reverse sear on this ribeye in the oven. I've got the oven preheated to 250. I have the steak raised up on a cooling rack on top of a baking sheet, and into the 250-degree oven we go. I'm going to let it go there till about an internal temp of 115 to 120, and then I'll take it out to do the final searing and bring it up to a medium rare temp. So I'm searing for about maybe 30 seconds to a minute on each side. I'm going to add a little compound butter in the bottom of the pan now, some aromatics, and some rosemary sprigs as well. As you can see on the top now, we're getting a beautiful crust on that first side that I just flipped over. And now we're going to wait about 1 minute and get that sear on the second side as well. So I've removed the steak from the skillet now. I'm going to let that rest there for a good 10 minutes. Let those juices reincorporate in the meat and let it finish coming up to temp. So you can see from that reverse sear how even that color is throughout. And that's the biggest advantage of the reverse sear. It's not, you know, a 1/2 inch of gray on the top, 1/2 inch of gray on the bottom from that ultra high heat that some people do on their grills. It just slow cooks it, and then the sear at the end. Again, you want your medium rare. It's medium rare almost all the way throughout.